My brother Mikey was responsible for a terrible accident. Before the police arrived, he told me that he drank a little.
I was celebrating your son's birth.
That drink would cost him 5 years in prison. So I decided to take the blame for him. While the officers were taking me away, my wife started bashing me.
We're your family too. How could you do this to us?
I was tired of telling her that I swore to my parents to look after my little brother. He wasn't ready for such hell. Prison would break him. I entered it and even managed to be released ahead of time. When I got home, Alice wasn't happy to see me.
Why are you here? Did you escape?
I told her that I have been released for good behavior. She would know that if she had bothered to visit me at least once. I couldn't wait to see my son. I entered the house and found my brother Mikey there. He was wearing pajamas and was very surprised to see me. He told me that he was looking after my wife and son.
Well, it so happens that Alice and I are together now.
I couldn't believe it. It seemed like a stupid joke. But suddenly, my wife held Mikey's hand and confirmed his words. I was so furious that I grabbed the traitor and pushed him against the wall. Alice separated us and warned us to be quiet so we wouldn't wake up our son.
You abandoned your family, and Mikey took care of us every day. You have no right to talk about betrayal.
Alice allowed me to sleep in the attic. Our son had to wake up early, and she didn't want him to be scared by a stranger. I was so looking forward to meeting him that I was only able to fall asleep at dawn. The next morning, I saw my brother putting my son in the car before taking him to school. I felt a strong feeling of injustice overwhelming me.
Let me hug my son! Hey!
I wanted to catch up with them, but the attic was locked. I kept banging on the door so hard that things were falling on me. I found letters that I had written to Billy among them. I hoped Alice would read them to my son, but the envelopes were never opened. I demanded an explanation, and Alice confessed that my son thought Mikey was his real father. My wife asked me to keep it that way, adding that a child needs a father without a criminal record.
If they find out at the kindergarten, he will be bullied. You know how cruel kids are nowadays.
I agreed, and eventually met my son. She told him that I was his uncle. And that was enough for me. I couldn't get enough of Billy. He looked just like me. I spent all my free time with him, trying to make up for lost time. And we gradually became very close.
Son, let's go. I'll teach you how to ride a bike.
Uncle Jacob already taught me.
When Alice saw how much I cared about my son, the note of resentment and contempt disappeared from her voice. Not only that, but it migrated to Mikey's whenever he spoke to me.
I'm sorry, brother. There's just not enough space for all of us here.
I understood what he meant and started looking for a job.
Sorry, brother. Nothing personal.
I kept being turned down because of my criminal record. I was desperate. So I asked my younger brother for help for the very first time. He worked as a shift supervisor at a warehouse, and he was able to get me a part-time job.
Just remember, I have no relatives at work. Nothing personal. It's just business.
I worked harder than ever and won the team's respect. The top dogs of the company noticed my efforts, and soon I got promoted to manager of the whole warehouse. I knew that Mikey had applied for that position, but he didn't seem very upset. Quite the opposite. He threw a party in my honor. During the party, my parole officers showed up. I was not allowed to drink under the terms of my parole, otherwise I would go back to jail. The officers had me undergo a sobriety test, and it revealed that I wasn't drunk. Even my brother couldn't believe it.
Thank God. How did you fool them?
I told them that I didn't fool them, but my colleagues had just pretended to drink so I wouldn't offend anyone. My salary allowed me to find a house near my son. And when my wife let me spend the weekend with Billy, I received a call from work. I was told that there was a fire, and since I was in charge of security, I rushed to work. I even got there faster than the firefighters. Suddenly, through the smoke screen, I noticed the body of a man wearing a mask. I pulled him out of there and checked his pockets. I found matches, as well as the cap of a gas canister. I removed the mask, and so, my brother, Mikey? Hey, are you alive? He came to his senses and immediately asked me to let him go before the cops and firefighters arrived. I realized that my brother tried to set me up with the alcohol and the fire. Mikey begged me not to give him away and take the fall yet again.
Remember, you promised our parents.
I had already sacrificed myself once in order to give Mikey a chance to start a life. However, he stole mine and decided to get rid of his own brother as soon as he felt that he had competition. Our parents would understand. Sorry, brother. Nothing personal. You just don't deserve a second chance. Mikey was accused of arson and sent to jail. While I continued to raise and care for my son. This time, as a real father. Don't make sacrifices for ungrateful people. They'll take advantage of your kindness every single time.